Did you go to the west base of school first?
No, no, I didn't go. I went over and down Missouri a while.
Did it have a lunchroom?
No. Didn't have a lunchroom there. They built the other school and it had a lunchroom.
So what did you do for lunch?
We carried our lunch, had a sack lunch. Rode the school bus from the country and we had a sack lunch. Biscuits and hog joe meat on it like that, you know. Didn't have nothing fancy. Light bread was kind of scarce. It was a treat when we got light bread, put a sandwich or make a sandwich out of light bread.
Wow.
See, so that was I'm before sliced bread.
What subjects did you study?
Oh, just reading and writing and arithmetic and spelling. I like geography and history. And of course, it's some of the subjects kids have now we didn't have then.
Did you have a favorite subject?
I always liked history and geography. I liked that. I wasn't no good at spelling or or arithmetic. Too good. Reading. I done all right, but not too good.
How many students? It was like a common number or something?
There was about 20 of us in the school at Mannford. Now, when I went to the school down at Racket Ridge down in Missouri, there's one teacher to 8th grade. There's 8 of us in one room.
Goodness.
Different ones in, first grade up to 8th. And it's all in the same room. One teacher, Mrs. Ferguson was a teacher. Now they'd have her in jail now because if you didn't do right, she'd turn you over her apron. She was a pretty large lady, and you had to mind her. I don't know what how they did from now, but they did then. That's been a long time ago. That's 70 years and over ago.
Did you ever get in trouble?
Oh yes, I was prone to get in trouble. Just like other boys.
What was the discipline like?
Discipline, well, she'd usually tell you one time, and then the next time she'd let you know what she meant.
Any unusual pranks, events, or happenings?
No, not too many. There's always pranking, somebody was. Making pranks on the teachers and different things.
What kinds of pranks were they? What would they do?
They'd hide things from them, one thing or other like that, Not abusive or anything.
And what did you get in trouble for? What did you ever do any time?
Well, just like, of course, then you had to, I guess they do now, you had to raise your hand to go to the bathroom, whatever you done, you had to raise that hand, see? And of course, I raised mine too much. She said, you keep yours up all the time. And so they let you know that you had to straighten out.
What did you do for books to learn from?
Sir?
What did you do for books to learn from?
Well, books, then, now they didn't furnish books. We didn't have a lot of books, but our parents had to buy them. Some of them couldn't buy them, didn't have the money to buy them. Sometimes I'd even borrow a textbook from somebody.
What were the sports like? What were the sports like? Sports?
Sports, or I didn't, they had all there in the Mannford school, they played baseball, time, football, everything. I played a little football, but I got in trouble, so I quit the football. Some bigger boys was on the team, I was smaller, and they tried to make a conehead out of me. So I quit the football.
I would too.
Were the teachers males or females?
I had, mostly always had female teachers.
How did you travel? How did you travel? Oh, no.
No, that's okay. Ask him.
How did you travel?
To school.
School bus.
Do
Out in the
you?
basic countries where I rode that old bus, and there wasn't no chat on the roads or no nothing. It was mud roads. A week at a time, they couldn't even get up the hill. They'd be out of school on account of that. Bad roads, you remember, Twyla, not basic.
So you got to miss school then when they were too many?
Missed some, yeah. And there wasn't no making it up then that I know of. Like later, they got out of school a certain time, went to school a certain time. But they to make them catch their grades up, you know.
Do you know any information about the bank robbery in 1923 or 1958?
The bank robbery down in old Mannford.
Mhm.
Yeah, I was there when they made a picture show of it.
Oh,
We didn't know about that.
we don't know about that. Tell
Yeah,
us.
they made a picture show of the bank robbery, you know, just a fake picture show. Yeah, I
Oh,
remember when
neat.
and the horses, they went right down Main Street just and Mrs. Nance, the lady run a hotel there, her and Beaver girl run out there. It was just a picture show. They robbed the bank up there at Mannford.
Well, I'll be.
Do you remember that, Twyla? You
I
young.
remember hearing of it, but of course I wasn't,
I saw that day.
I wasn't
Yeah,
there.
the picture
Lloyd
showed that.
remembers it.
I mean, yeah, I know, he's a year younger than I am. But they robbed the bank, you know.
Was that about 35 or
Something
7?
like that, I expect. I don't know just what year it was myself, Twyla. And I know they went, of course, they even had a good bank robbery before that. I'd heard more about that. And they was on each side of the river, you know, and Cimarron River looking for the bank robber. One man got killed, you know, I understand.
Yeah.
That he got killed across the river. He shot him across the river, so I didn't know that was a little before my
That's
time,
neat.
but I remember,
1923.
so that was when he was talking. I remember him talking about it, telling us about them things.
Did you and your family participate in the moving of the town of Old Mannford?
Well, we lived in the old town of Mannford. We never moved to the new town, but we had a business, auction business, and we moved there from the old town.
Mhm.
And then I moved down to Prattville. The longest I've ever been away, the furthest away, is 12 miles down here at Prattville. We bought a place down there, 5.5 acres. We stayed down there 1 year, and the kids wanted to come back, so we come back. But I was here, you know, and my dad was on the board when they was on the town board here when they relocated the town.
Uh-huh. That was interesting.
And that was Earl.
Earl Varnell was my dad. He lived to be 92 years old. And,
Goodness.
but he was on the board. I think all the board are gone now. The old board that established the town.
So he helped to make the decision to move the town.
The banker, Von Weniger, was really the overseer of it, and several had already passed away that was here, you know, Raymond Holmes and Les Hinton and Speck Wright and Joe Trier and several of them. My dad was on the board, I thought, and then the banker was named Von Weniger. I was here when the first banker, Coonrod, when he died,
Oh.
Mr. Coonrod.
What is different from Old Mannford and New Mannford? What's the difference?
What's the difference? Well, I think it's just a lot of difference. Of course, now you take down Kennyville Road where Twyla lives, and several of them, they went down that road at the time they moved to town. See, many of them, several of the houses come out of Old Mannford, but there's a lot of difference. Of course, it was a small town. Never was over 500, I don't think, in population. And it's a lot, everybody knowed everybody, and the kids run the street, and there were no dangers, they just knew. And so I think it's great improvement, the new town. I think the world of Mannford. I think it's a good town, a good community, good schools, and everything now. I've had several grandkids and great-grandkids and kids to go to school here, and some of them since the new town. Several of them since the new town going now, the younger generation of mine.
Okay. What was moving Mannford a good or bad thing?
Yeah, I think it's good. I think it's a good thing. They talked about it way back, putting the Keystone Dam in, you know, way back in, I remember a lady, Mrs. Mabel Steele, she said she wrote Raymond Holmes about it in 1914. They see it was a long time talking about it in the making.
Oh.
Several of them didn't want that, and some of the farmers across the river, they didn't want the dam, they didn't want the lake, they didn't want to, so, but I think it was a good thing myself. The town is a lot better, a lot more population. You got twice as many, I guess, in the school system than they had in the old town, so I think it's good.
Any other information that you'd like to share?
Well, I don't know, but,
Tell us what you do for a living, sir.
What I've done for 50 years is run an auction. Now, I pastor the Friendship Community Church. We had our 38th homecoming Sunday. Been there 38 years.
Wow.
I'm married here, and I was born here, across the river, Pawnee County, Pawnee Cove, where it is over there.
Mm-hmm.
And so now I just pastor the church. I don't auction anymore. I help them all I can. I'm kind of the go-getter for things up there. They want me to go get things.
Uh-huh.
So I got a big bunch of kids. We lost, of course, I lost Mama in November the 21st. Soon be 7 months ago, and we raised our family here. I was born here and raised here. Moved over next door to farm to Twilenham, and I don't know what year it was, over on Salt Creek. That's the year we married, 60 years ago.
Goodness gracious.
So in 15 days. And so I've been here ever since. We had 84. When Mama passed, we've had 84 that called me Nana, her Nana, and me Papa. We had 84.
That's wonderful.
And we spend Christmases at home, you know, at my house, even since we did the last one, at Christmas Eve and Christmas Day. Bad weather, they didn't, just 48 of them got there. So.
Goodness, but
Tell
that's
'em.
still pretty good.
Tell them how you proposed to Alberta, your wife.
Yeah, well, I was working, this banker up here, Clay Greenwood, she was working for his folks. They had 4 children, 3 of them in diapers, not these paper diapers, or nothing like that.
Yeah.
That's years ago. And then Clay up here, that's a banker, and he was the oldest, and she's working for them. And Clayton Greenwood, him and Nadine both are gone now, and he worked at the stockyards. And you know, he'd come in, he'd close or them where they them stock, and she had to do that kind of washing and taking care of them babies. $1 a day, she drawed $1 a day. And so she was out of a big family, and you know, they didn't send them to the hospital when they had new babies. And they'd stay in bed there for 10 days. They wouldn't let them move for 9 days, and then 10th day they'd get up, you know. Alberta helped, my wife helped with everybody around that had a new baby. She'd just go and stay in the home with them, you know. And so she was staying with, I had an aunt, and Gail Morato was born. She was the new baby, and Mom was there taking care of her. I just come down under the clothesline, and so she was there hanging up diapers and doing the washing. And I said, how would you like to be my washerwoman? So
That was quite romantic, wasn't it?
was romantic. So in about 26 days, well, I stopped her from that kind of work. But I told Clayton and Nadine the day, I told Clayton, I said, now we're going to get married next Friday night. My dad had moved down over here. We went over there with him. And married in the old town of Mannford. But I said, she won't be back. I said, and we're going to get married, and she won't be back. Oh, he said, Nadine's got to have her to help with these kids. And I said, well, she won't be back. Well, she never did work for anybody but me.
Is that right?
She said I was a hard taskmaker. But anyway, she never did. She never worked on Social Security. She had a Social Security number, but never did work for anybody.
Well,
For wages, never for nobody after that.
After you. Oh, how about that?
Of course, we raised 10. We had 10 kids, so she had her hands full. And
You had 10 children?
yeah, we had 10 children.
Oh my goodness, oh my goodness. 10?
Yeah, we had 10.
How many boys and how many girls?
Well, we lost a set of twins, a boy and a girl and 2 boys. And then we raised 4 boys and 2 girls to be adults.
Oh, 4 boys and 2 girls.
I tell them I wish we'd saved them that we lost, because I'd have had more help to help me.
You must have been a taskmaster then. I have to agree. Well, tell me, did you when you did the auction, did you do the fast talking auctioneering?
I was the auctioneer.
Oh, would you do some of that for us? Would there be any? Let's say we were going to auction off.
Hand him something.
Let's see. No, we don't want to hand it. Let's auction what?
A book.
Yeah. How about a book? Let's auction a book.
You always, when you're an auctioneer, you want to tell them what it is. See, this here is the biggest, best snowman here. Little book here, we're going to sell it for so much money, so what would you give for it? All right, I got now 2, what do you get 2, now 3, now 4, now 5, now 6, now 7, now 8, now 9, now 10, now 11, $12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17,
Okay, now
18, 19, 20.